it hurts. And I'm too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
Hey, welcome back everybody this week to this week's version of Doing It with Styles. And I have a very special guest and also a close personal friend, if I may say so. We have today as a guest, we have Miss Kira. Now, Miss Kira is a golf media professional. And what that means is she stalks golfers all over the country. Is that does that pretty much describe what you do, Miss Kira?
I mean, yes, I do kind of stalk them, but I mean in a loving friendship kind of way.
Right.
But I try to get the stories that some of the media people in the golf world don't ask. And so I like to ask those interesting and probing questions if it's golf related, if it's travel related, or like getting the backstories about how companies in the golf world or golf professionals in the world get their start. Along with a lot of them do have their own nonprofits. And my past trip, I actually got to learn about a good friend of mine, how he started his foundation from his parents because it was a local event for him. And it was just so fascinating. And I feel that the public needs to know these amazing stories, along with get to know that they are just normal people.
I think that's what we all forget a lot. People who are in the spotlight in the media and are somewhat famous. We forget that they're just regular people. They have the same experiences that we do, and to a certain extent. They have families. And they go through good times and bad times, just like the rest of us. So it's especially in the sports world, where I see a lot of, well, you dumbass, you missed that shot. What the hell's the matter with you? You know what? Maybe the guy had a rock in his shoe or something. You just
Yeah.
don't know. So and you talked about this nonprofit. Do you find that a lot of these golfers are involved in things other than just their sport?
Yes.
Okay. Because all of these all of these sports figures are kind of role models for kids and for people. And this is a delicate question that you don't have to answer. Do you find that most of them are really good role models or not?
From the people that I personally have met in the golf world, professionals and people within the industry, 99.99% of them are great role models. They are some of the sweetest people. They are so nice to their young fans and any fan in general. They will take the time to talk with you. I've seen at one of the last championships that I went to in November, there was downtime and a golf professional was playing football, passing the football with another golf professional's kids and just, relaxing and then giving that same kid a golf lesson. Who can say my dad is a golf professional, but I got a golf lesson from another golf professional? I mean, it is really a community of people that really want the best out of golf. They want to be, helping the community. They want to help teach the younger generation of golf. It's not just, when they're out on the driving range or about to do a competition, they are focused. It is their job. But
Yeah,
once once
that's
once
their
that
job.
once they're done playing and working, they are just normal people. They do take that time to talk with fans. They are just literally the nicest people. I mean, I couldn't tell you a bad story about a professional golfer that I've met. Yet we all understand they are just normal people. They might have bad days, I mean, we all have bad days, but I mean, they are great people. I couldn't say a bad thing about anybody that I have met in the golf
So,
world.
since you've been following all of these guys, do you have a um, do you have a favorite or like a fondest memory about, I interviewed this guy and he was just the greatest thing that they, without pissing everybody else off?
Well, at the end of October, I went to a championship in Miami, and security guard, I didn't know what this slang meant because I'm from Wisconsin and we don't get hip quite frequently, but he said to me, "Hey, Miss Kira, I really like your drip." And I was like, "I don't know what that means." And so he explained to me he liked what I was wearing. He thought that like what I was wearing each day of the tournament and of the event, that I was dressed really nice. And he's like, "I dare you to go ask certain players about their drip." And I said, "Sure, I don't care." So um during the week, I kind of was asking players who did their drip, and maybe 75% of them didn't know what it meant. But I mean, towards the end, players would see me and they'd be like, "Blah blah blah did my drip this week or today." And so when the season ended and I went to the first event that I went to for the tournament was in Orlando, a lot of the players actually were like, "Blah blah blah still did my drip," so they knew who I was. And it's just so nice to know that, I did make an impact on them. It made them a little bit more hip.
But
One of my
yeah, that's great. This golfer gave you something that
yeah,
allowed you to have that interaction with the other,
yes,
and a memorable reaction,
yeah.
because if they're coming back and telling you, "Hey, so and so did my grip,"
And the funniest thing is, um at the championship in Miami, like there's this controversial golfer. I'm not going to name him. People call him Captain America. You can figure out who it is. But I got to know him throughout that tournament and throughout since then. And you don't read everything into what the media says. He is probably one of the nicest people out there. I mean, he goes out of his way. He is don't read too much into what the media says. He is a great guy. He does a lot for the community. His brother-in-law is actually his caddy before his wife got pregnant, or
Wow.
this golfer's wife got pregnant. And so she was actually his caddy, and now his brother-in-law is his caddy.
I think that you had told me a story about two friends that were coming up in the golf world, and
Yes.
one of them made it and the other one didn't. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I do. I don't.
It,
Can
it,
you
it,
please elaborate?
well, the story that you told me, if it was
Yeah.
true,
Yes.
was that these two guys were friends and they were, coming up in the golf world, and the one guy made it into the professional and made it onto the tour, and the other guy
Oh,
didn't. And he asked
yes.
him, "Would you like to caddy for me?" So,
Yes. So I was talking with a good friend of mine, and it's practice round at the tournament, and I said, "So how did you two meet each other?" And he goes, "Well, we went to high school together. We were both
right.
trying to become professional golfers. We both went our separate ways. We were both on different tours trying to become on the PGA tour. And when this said golfer got his tour credentials, he called his now caddy saying, 'Hey, I need a caddy. Will you please be my caddy?' And that was 33 years ago. And
Wow,
he's still their caddy, and they're the best of friends.
that's
When I
awesome.
heard that story, I said, That is the coolest thing I've ever heard. I mean, people really don't know the stories behind the professional, the caddy, the social media people. I mean, the agents. There's so many people that are behind a golfer. It's not just a golfer. He
So
has a team.
that brings up an interesting question that I've never really thought of, I guess, and that is, so the golfer, right, the professional,
Right.
he's responsible for paying his caddy and all of that, right? They do this
Yes.
for money, right?
Right.
So is there so let's say that the guy wins the tournament, and he gets a big chunk of change. Is that something
Right.
that they normally, or most of the golfers will share that purse, part of that purse, with the people that work with
Yes.
them?
Yes. So the caddy gets a percentage usually. It depending on if how big of a golf
Purse is
professional
right.
you are,
Yeah.
or you might get a flat rate. But there's a difference between one tour and the other tour.
Right.
Is one tour takes care of all of the travel expenses for the caddy and the golfer and the team, along with the other tour doesn't take care of the travel expenses. You actually have to pay out of pocket for your hotel, your flight, your car, everything. You have to schedule that and you have to
So
plan that. So there's two different avenues depending on what tour you work
right.
with.
So everybody wants to work with this tour and not that tour,
I mean, it depends on preference also. I mean, I have noticed that it's golf, and I'm not going to get political on like, which tour
Right.
is better than the other one. I just hope the public actually keeps an open mind and actually wants to go to the both tours just to see which one they like. It
Right.
doesn't matter if you like one or the other. At least you went to one of both of them and you can figure it out for yourself. Don't always read into what the mainstream golf media perceives. I mean, they unfortunately the major golf media players had to take a huge swallow. They had to swallow a huge pill yesterday when Brooks Koepka won the PGA championship, and they're not on. He's not on the PGA tour, and they had to slowly swallow that pill, saying something nice about that him as a player and the tour that now he's on.
So, do you find that the players are receptive when you try to interview them, or you asking them questions, or are they, or because in a lot of instances, it's hard to get to that individual.
Right.
You got to go through this one and this one and this one, or their media person, or their rep or whatever. So,
For me, being at an event, it's completely different. If it's practice round day or pro am day, they're usually pretty receptive to interview questions or wanting to ask a question. If they're actually playing around at the end of it, there probably will be more receptive. Don't ask them before a round, they won't do anything,
yeah.
but they're very receptive. I mean, I had when I was in Tulsa for an event, this gentleman that I met was like, "Hey, I really need to talk to this person to talk to this person." He's like, "Do you know who this is?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll introduce you. It's not a problem. Like, I know this person." And he was like, "Thank you so much. How do you know this person?" And I said, "It's just going to these events as much as I have." And at the evening, he was like, "I really want to do an interview with the lovely Harold Varner III." And I said, "If you want to talk to him, I'll try to help you. But I mean, if he's in a rush and he doesn't want to do it, there's nothing you can do."
Yeah.
But Harold was very receptive. We got to do an interview about his round. It was great. Like I said, a lot of the players, they'll they'll take the time if it's after their round, if they're competing, but usually they're pretty receptive. I mean, if they're having a bad round, probably
Yeah.
wouldn't be a good idea to ask
Leave me
them,
alone.
hey, can I please have an interview with you? But for the most part, the players are very like nice to the media. The media is really nice to the players. It's just, depending on what's going on
Right.
for the
So
day.
do you follow both the men and women's tour?
I do.
Do you?
I do. Yeah.
What do you find is there a stark difference between the two in your experience? I mean, it's like, the men's tour does this, and this, and the women's tour does this, and this, or is it pretty consistent across the lines?
It's pretty consistent, but I think the men's league, so the PGA tour gets more fanfare, like more fans to attend.
Right. They've
And
been
the
around
women,
longer. Yeah.
yeah, and the women's, the LPGA league is more like a smaller crowds, but I mean, they're both great. They both have phenomenal athletes. I mean, everybody's great. For me personally, I've noticed that you can get closer to the players if you go to an LPGA event compared to a PGA Tour event or live event, depending on the spectrum. But most of I mean, there's a wide range of leagues that you can attend to. And it just really just depends on, do you want the up and coming players? Do you want the professionals? Do you want the quote unquote the senior league, which is like a bunch of PGA players that now play professionally on the senior league, but they
It's
still
okay.
play
It's
for
okay. You
no,
can say old. I thought.
no. I mean that's what they call it the
Yeah.
Champions
I.
Tour. So
Yeah. So what got you into this? What got you interested in golf? And then why did you say, you know what? I want to go out there and I want to interview these people and I want to make this my job, so to speak.
so at my old job years ago, I started as a media or I should say I was a marketing person for this. Excuse me, my Siri decided to talk to me. But I started as a marketing manager for a media and marketing company, and I grew through that. Was not, by the way, I was not from the golf world. I was from the complete opposite. I was from the music world. I was a music photographer for over 10 years. So
Wow.
golfing was not in my spectrum of learning or doing anything like that. So um when I got to this media company, I had to learn about golf, and my first real test was going to the PGA show, which is usually in Orlando in January. And my boss at the time goes, it's 3.5 days. It's the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando is a mile long, is the biggest event. You don't know anything about golf, but try to figure it out. And I said, I've been to convention centers before. This can't be that bad.
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong. It was the most exhausting couple days, but I grew to love the community because everybody was so nice. And it was really cool just seeing the new, golf clubs, the new clothing, the new technology, the new everything. It was new. It's a closed event to the public. Only professionals and media people and industry people get to go. So I got to do that. And then I started realizing, oh my gosh, I have to figure out more about golf. I have to start watching the tours. I have to start I have to start knowing who the players are. And after that event, I just dove in head first. After that, I started getting familiarized. So I got to start being a part of the company's podcast. So I was a part of the on-air personalities, so, and one of the hosts. So that was really fun. And then as that evolved, the LPGA came out with an initiative called #InviteHer campaign, which meant bringing women and girls into the world of golf and having them learn golf. So my boss at the time goes, well, Kira, you've never learned. You don't know anything about how to play actual golf. So I said, okay, I'll volunteer myself we started a little mini series about what you should do to learn golf, like what to wear, clubs, shoes, dress, going to an event, clubhouse, anything that you could possibly think of. We did it. And then at the PGA show that following year, I met with the LPGA and they said, we love what you're doing. Please keep doing it. If you ever want to go to an LPGA event, please let us know. We'd love to host you. And I was shocked and so grateful that they were so receptive to what I was doing. Was going to hit a golf ball at that PGA show, but unfortunately, time got away from us and I couldn't hit a golf ball indoors. And then unfortunately, the following year, or that same year, I went to my first PGA Tour event, which was the Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass, and it was my first media event, and I loved it. I got to be a part of my first press conference, which was hilarious, was with Tiger Woods. I never thought I'd be in a press conference with the GOAT of golf.
Yeah.
And then I got to go to some other PGA Tour events, and we got to have on our podcast he was at the time the master chef of the PGA Tour, and he was the master chef at TPC Potomac at Avenel Farms, and he had a mission that was to raise funds to feed the nuclear submariners during Christmas and New Year's. So he would either go to Guam or Hawaii. So we got to go and drove out to TPC Potomac. And we got to do a fundraiser with his lovely members and stuff. So it was really fun to see the people that we've talked to on our podcast in person, and everybody was so thankful that we came out to help raise money for such an amazing cause and to give thanks to our nuclear submariners that can't leave base during the holiday seasons. And then after that all happened, the last PGA show that I went to with my old boss was right before the pandemic. And I was going to learn how to hit a golf ball, and then the world shut down. And after that happened, I decided to start my own business and grew it. And I said to myself in the following year, so this past June, I was going to actually take my first official golf lesson at my local golf resort, which is Grand Geneva Resort and Spa, which used to be the old Playboy Resort in Lake Geneva.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of history there. So my friend was my golf coach this past season. So I fell in love with it, and then I decided that I wanted to show people that on my Instagram and my socials, it's okay to start doing golf or playing and learning golf or anything at any age. You don't have to. I'm not going to become a professional. I'm going to maybe still suck. It's okay. Just remember to have fun. And like, that's my like whole purpose is I want people to know it's okay to not be great. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to be mad at yourself. I mean, it's a journey, and I want to give an unbiased opinion of events that I go to. So, I mean, it's been a great journey. It's my second year of learning golf, and I love it. Unfortunately, I overdid it this past week, so I'm on recovery.
I know
So that's my story.
36 holes in one day is too much.
only I could play that much. I unfortunately only practice for 10 minutes. and then that lovely accident happened. So
You want to tell us about that? What happened?
I
don't want to put you on the spot, but
no, you're fine, John. I unfortunately twice a week I donate plasma because it's such a good cause and it helps people with that. I mean,
wait,
that's the only way they
twice a week,
yes.
2 times a week, you donate plasma.
Yes.
I did not think they would allow you to do that. I
Yes.
thought,
So
because I used to donate plasma and they would only allow me to do it every 6 weeks.
oh really? So
Yeah.
you can only do it twice a week, but you have to do it like 2 to 3 days apart from each other. Yes.
Wow.
So unfortunately, Monday morning I donated plasma and it was a really nice day here in Wisconsin. And I haven't hit golf balls in a while because of traveling. And I decided I was gonna eat and drink some water and go to Grand Geneva's driving range and hit some golf balls because I just really wanted to go hit golf balls and started warming up. And unfortunately, 10 minutes after I started hitting golf balls, I started getting a little lightheaded. So I decided to sit down on by the driving range and just kind of cool off and start drinking water, and thought that I could walk to my car and cool myself off some more. And when I started walking, I blacked out and passed out, hitting my nose and my face on the driving range turf. And this lovely gentleman that was hitting golf balls was like, holy crap, I gotta take you to the clubhouse. And he drove me to the clubhouse, and I know everybody at Grand Geneva, and I thank them so much for being such a great support system. They grabbed me some ice, they made sure I was okay. They told me don't ever do that again because I scared the crap out of everybody and I scared myself. So you can see on my socials I had a huge ice on my nose. My nose is really sore. I didn't break anything. I didn't break my teeth. The only thing I have is a couple scrapes and a bruised nose. So
well, just thank God you did it at the driving range and not on one of the tours.
Oh, I know. If that would have happened, I would have never heard the end of it because at the Orlando event that I was at, the first day of the tournament, it was practice round day, and I got sunburnt. And so every day during the tournament and when I was in Tulsa, they decided to go, you were so sunburnt the first day of Orlando. Didn't you know any better? If you need sunscreen, we have some for you. So if I would have passed out at one of the tournaments, I'd never hear the end of it. They would be like, we can't believe you. We can't believe that you passed out. I'd never hear the end of it.
Yeah.
And still to this day, I mean, people will be like, if you need sunscreen, yeah, you cover.
Well, I'm never going to let you forget it. So,
I mean, thank God that I had really good moisturizer because I mean, I was peeling. I mean, I was like as red as a cherry. I was miserable. So I knew not to make that mistake in Tulsa. I didn't get sunburned that time, so thank God.
So now in the summertime, when you go out there, you go out there wearing a burqa, right? So it just
unfortunately, being Swedish, I got my sunburns done, so now I just tan.
Yeah, I used to do the same thing when I was younger. It's like right at the beginning of the summer, you just had to get burnt to a crisp, and then you were okay the rest of the year.
Exactly, and right now I have a really nice base tan line from being outside so much. It's only the end of May, so it's except now my feet are really white, so now I have to tan my feet because I have a golf shoot tan line going on.
Okay, cool. So what do you have on your schedule upcoming here in the near future? Anything exciting that we should know about, that we want to follow you?
Well, there's this amazing event on June 5th. It's called Beauty versus the Beast.
Wow.
So it's Paige. I don't remember Paige's last name, but it's versus John Daly. We all know who John Daly is, and they're doing an event for charity, literally in my backyard at Geneva National in Lake
Oh, wow.
Geneva. So I'm super excited. I'm gonna go check it out because what a great cause! It's for veterans, and it's literally 20 minutes from my house, so you can't you can't go wrong
Yeah.
checking that out. I also have, I do believe that the Champions Tour is coming up to Madison, so it's the American Family Insurance Championship. Love that event. Love seeing Steve Stricker in his home area. It's a great event. It's at the Madison University of Madison's golf course. So it's really cool. Besides that, I'm not sure.
Well, if you get out here, out this way, out to Vegas, give me a heads up and we'll have you in the studio and we can talk about old times and stuff and laugh at some of the people that we know.
You don't have to twist my arm, John. Actually, I was thinking about coming out there and seeing everybody because
Oh yeah,
I
we'd love
miss
to
you
have
all. I miss you all, guys. The one thing, if I do come out there, we have to go to Revere.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Just don't bring the tequila though.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
made that. I made that mistake twice. So
Yeah, I remember. Never mind. But the Revere course is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's up in Henderson, of course. And the elevation is a little bit higher, so you get to look down over the entire Las Vegas Valley.
that
And
is one of my favorite pictures
yeah,
that I ever took was I forgot what hole it is, but you can see the whole strip. You can see the stadium,
yeah,
the new lovely. Well, it's not new, but new-ish
yeah.
stadium. But I mean, other than that, I'm just debating where I want to go in the future. I know that there's the PGA has a merchandise and buying summit and the new PGA headquarters, which is in Frisco. So
Wow.
I'm gonna go check that out.
It's in San Francisco.
No,
Do
Frisco.
do not go there and call it Frisco.
So I'm excited. I've never been to that one. So there's just a lot of moving parts to see where I'm gonna go, who am I gonna talk to. I wish everybody that's gonna be going to the Live tournament in Washington D.C. to have a great time. Congrats to Brooks Koepka on his PGA championship win. Congrats to him. He's about to be a dad, and his lovely wife are announced that they're having a little baby boy.
Wow.
Which is amazing and just so exciting. And for everybody that's in the DC area, please go check out the Live Tour. It is such a great time. All of the players are fabulous. If you're going to the Charles Schwab Challenge on the PGA Tour, have a great time. I'm not sure where the LPGA Tour is, but if you're going to go hit golf balls or if you're going to go to an event, also this week is Women's Golf Week. So on
Really?
Friday is Women's Golf Day.
Wow.
So if
I did not know that was a thing.
yes. So it will be my second anniversary hitting golf balls
Okay.
on Women's Golf Day. So it's a great game of golf. It's a great way to stay in shape. When I go to the driving range, people always ask, do you listen to music? No, I just listen to the birds, decompress, it's just golf.
Yeah. I learned to play some years ago. Coincidentally, my golf instructor was also my psychology professor, and
Oh,
he had written a book about the mental aspect of the game. And
that's
so
fascinating.
and he was teaching me how to play golf, and this was in Palm Springs, and so we had some
Hmm.
great courses. And I finally had to just tell him, enough, man, stop, because he never stopped teaching me. And it was like, okay, so after 2 years, dude, I just want to enjoy the game, I just want to
Exactly.
have fun. And it got to be kind of a joke because he couldn't help himself. He's a professor, he's an instructor. That's what he does. And
Yeah, right.
so but yeah, once I got out there and realized that, I'm always playing against myself. I'm not playing against everybody else. I
Exactly.
want to do better than I did the last time, and if I mess up this shot, okay, forget it, put it behind us, and let's go do, something better on the next thing. But as you said, I loved being out there and being outside, being in the open, seeing the landscaping and everything, and just kind of chilling and getting your mind right. So I enjoyed that, and I haven't been out in a couple of years now.
Well,
And
when I come out, let's do it.
okay, yeah.
You can laugh at me because my short
Or
game is
you can laugh at me because my whole game, I play Army golf. I don't know if you're familiar with Army golf.
What's Army golf? I've never heard of it.
That's where you hit the ball left, right, left, right, left, right.
I was gonna say, unfortunately, my goal this season is to actually work on my short game. So I am hoping and praying that I will.
Yeah.
I'm really good at putting. It's just chipping is I rather just hit it like 150 yards
Yeah.
than
Well,
10 yards.
and my short game is pretty good. It's my long game that's bad because I used to play baseball. So
Oh,
I still have that, that
yeah.
kind of swing. And it makes
Well,
it sometimes.
that will be a great pair then.
Yeah.
I'll drive and you chip.
There you go. It's a date. We'll do that. So
And then we gotta invite Jay with us.
yeah, that'd be nice. I haven't talked to him in a little while. I gotta give him a holler and just see how he's doing. And so I really liked him. He's a good guy. So
He is, and I'm so excited about this podcast. Like, I just wanted to tell everybody, like, I'm super excited. If anybody has ideas or who I should talk to or what they want to know, let us know. I'm excited. I have some people in mind that we're going to go do interviews with. Some of them you might not ever know who might show up.
cool. And I was just about to bring that up and to announce that Miss Kira is going to have her own show here on WWDB TV. And it's going to be called Tee
Drum
Up
roll.
with Miss Kira.
Yes.
Now, I thought that maybe you should call it Teed Off with Miss Kira. And that might be another show that we could do,
Yeah.
we could and they would just be rants. You know what teased me off?
The funniest thing is like when you in Asian countries, I think it's Japan, you can't say 4 because 4 is an unlucky number.
Right, okay.
So they say 1 plus 3, 1 plus 3.
Seriously.
Instead of 4.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but 4 is an unlucky number and word in I think it's Japan or it might be China. It's one of the two.
Okay.
But they don't like 4, so they say 3 plus 1.
Wow. Okay. See how much you guys learn coming to these shows? Yeah.
I am full of useless information. Or maybe useful information if you're on,
hey, you never know.
Jeopardy or something.
If you're playing golf in Japan and you don't want to get lopped upside the head, 3+1.
But I'm letting everybody know also that like the professional golfers are just normal people. Like when they're on the drive, if they're on playing a round of golf, please understand that they're doing work. And when they're
Right.
done, they will come and talk to you as fans. Do not do anything stupid like run out onto the golf course when they're walking the fairways. Please don't do that. There are cops there that will tackle you. There are certain players on every tour that have cops that actually walk with them because
And
of
and
these.
and you've had some experience in that area, have you not?
Unfortunately, yes. But it wasn't because I ran out on the fairways.
Right.
But they're all great people. If you want to meet them, if you have questions about who to check out, who not to check out, but everybody's great that I have met in the golf industry and in the golf community. Everybody wants you to just have a great time. If you're learning, if you're playing, if you're just having fun, just remember to stay hydrated and
And
eat
don't
something.
donate plasma in the morning.
Yes, and also eat and stretch because
Okay.
those are the most important things. And keep an open mind. It's golf. You're supposed to have fun.
Yeah. So what can they get a hold of you if people want to follow you, if they want to check out what you're doing and
Yeah.
kind of
Yes. So you can go to my website. It's www.misskirap.com, or you can get a hold of me on Instagram. It's at miss_kirap. And you can get a hold of me there. Most of my socials are on my website. If you have questions, if you want to be a part of the show, if you want to be be a sponsor on the podcast, or have questions about how to grow your business, please reach out to me.
and keeping in mind that in the very near future,
Yes.
our show will be coming on WWDBTV. And
Yes.
you'll be able to see that on our website, on our YouTube channel, and also our Roku channel and
That is so
our Facebook page. So
that is so cool, John.
I know I'm
I'm
really looking forward to it. I when you called and said that you were ready, it was like, oh, cool, this is gonna be fun. Um,
No, what you said was it's about time.
oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. I did say that. But and that was true. You
Yeah.
know, it's like it's and in doing what I do here at
Yeah.
the station, I meet these people and I know, okay, they need to have a show, and I just sit back and wait for them to realize it. And you know, I don't like to bug them. I don't like to go after them. It's like when you're ready, I know
Right.
they'll come. You know,
You're right.
and you know, you're living proof of that. And it's like because I thought about it a couple of times and I thought, wow, she'd be a great, you know, great host for a show. I think that she could have a lot of fun. You've got a lot of great energy. I can't remember. Well, yeah, I do remember one time when I've seen you down, but all the other time you're just so up and so positive.
We don't talk about when I was done.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But it's just like yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's great, and I'm glad to see that you're finally pursuing what I know has been a dream for a while. So and is there anything that we should be looking forward to that you're kind of got planned that you're not ready to tell anybody else except me?
Well, there is a lot of behind the scenes things going on with my team and I. We are about to start looking for sponsors and advertisers for the podcast. if companies need help with promoting their products or their company, we also do that. There is a wide range. I really am a strong supporter of nonprofits. I started being a part of a nonprofit when I was little from my aunt. So nonprofits for me are near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to start reaching out to nonprofits that I can help in any way possible, because I think it is important to give back. Just like as all the professional golfers, they have their own foundation or they work with nonprofits. I think it's important to give back, along with if people want to, send me like a gift or anything, the way that I want people to do, instead of sending me something, donate to a certain foundation in my name, because that's more important in my eyes. I don't want presents. I don't I rather have the foundations that I support and I love to be able to have that, to be able to grow. That's super important in my eyes. Along with, we are going to be coming out with my own app in the future.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to have a Miss Kira app. There's other really cool things. I am going to be reaching out to foundations in the future to actually have them on the podcast, because I think they need to tell their story about how they got started and what they want to do in the future, because like I said, you got to give back. That's always been my mission, is giving back. There are other things I'm planning on doing, trips and events with travel that you can either book with businesses and travel sites that I have excursions with, and I will be going on those events. There are just way too many things going on. I don't know how I sleep. It must be when I overexhaust myself and hurt myself. I guess that's when I take time off. But lots of travel. I just really want to practice my craft and my game. And I want to connect with more golf influencers. If people want to check out a great group of guys that are great on every level, they make golf fun, more fun, I should say, please go check out the Country Club Adjacent Boys. They are great. They always know how to have fun. They ask the best questions at press conferences. So you can only imagine what kind of questions they have asked. They're great guys. They have been doing a lot of stuff in the golf world. Now they're getting into hockey. I met some other great golf influencers that are females at events, and they're great. Everybody that's a part of this community, I just want to reiterate that it is a great community to be a part of, and everybody just wants everybody to have fun. Like, that's truly what I really want to do at the next few events that I go to, is actually talk with players along with caddies and managers and stuff, to see what would be the advice that you would give somebody that's trying to learn golf or wants to learn golf. What would be the best advice to give them? Because I feel having it come from a professional golfer would be so important, and see, what was that aha moment that you loved golf? I mean, I don't really think the media really talks about that. I mean, they talk about it to a certain extent about their backstory, but what was that aha moment? Was it when you were playing with your dad when you were 4 years old and you're like, I want to do this professionally? Or, something along those lines. I want to know the real stories behind golf and why they got into it, or why certain companies got into golf in the industry. I mean, I've heard so many great stories since I've started learning and being a part of the golf world that people don't know. And I feel it's time to seize that moment to have the public actually hear those stories.
Cool. The other thing that I think you failed to mention was no. It's as far as sponsors and advertisers, the
Yes,
advantage that you have is your marketing background.
right.
So not only will they reach, your audience and our audiences here at WWDBTV, but you can work with them to find the most effective way to get their message out. And so I would highly recommend anybody out there watching this that had any inkling or any desire at all to be involved in something like this, give Miss Kara a call, check her out. I think that you'll be happy with the results. I know I've watched her for the last couple of years now. What's it been, 2 or 3 years?
Yeah. Yes, it's been
Wow.
like 2 or 3 years.
And to see how you've progressed and how you've grown in what you're doing, and see the passion that you've pursued that with. It's awesome to see that in another person, because there's so many people out there just walking around like deadbeats. Like they're just surviving day to day, and you're taking your passion and your your goodwill and your good feelings, and you're out there doing something with it. And I think that's awesome. I commend you for it. I'm so proud of you to see what you're doing. You're just, I'm happy to have you now part of our family here. And, we're gonna make this something that you're gonna be proud of for the rest of your life, kiddo.
Oh, thank you so much, John. I was gonna say, I I love what I do, and I do what I love because I'm so passionate about what I do. And for me, it's just an extension of who I am. I try to be the best that I can be, along with my marketing background. I mean, who would have thought that, doing doing this and having a marketing background and a degree would come full circle into what I do now. And it's just, I love what I do. So I
It's the
mean,
perfect storm, right?
yes. Like the movie, except
Yeah,
it's not
it has a happy
oh
ending.
shit.
Yeah.
But like I said, I love what I do, and when people go, "Do you sleep?" I sleep, but like it's not work for me. Yesterday, I was doing random stuff, and I ended up reading a workbook, and it wasn't work. I mean, it was
Yeah.
just you want to master your craft, so you do what you want. I
And that's,
mean,
I get that. I really do. You know that.
yes,
So we're kind of running out of time here.
yes.
Anything that you want to make sure that we haven't covered yet that you want to get out there real quick? You have 8 seconds. No.
Well, I
As
just
long
want.
as you need, kiddo.
I was gonna say, I hope everybody checks out the new show. John, I'm so happy that you're the one that I reached out to do the show with, because when I was discussing with the team that we were going to do a podcast, you were the first person that I thought of.
Thank you.
And I wanted you to be a part of the team, because I know that like you're passionate, I'm passionate, we'll make a great product.
Yep.
I'm so excited to see what and who we have on. I have a long list of connections that I'm sure we'll have some interesting people on.
There's no doubt in my mind. And
Uh,
I might be able to contribute a few people here and there along the lines too. So
of of course, and I'd love to have, if I come out there, we could do, invite Revere
yeah,
to discuss like what's going on, because I haven't seen their remodel and their changes
right.
to the course.
I haven't been out there in over a year.
Really?
Really. I am so busy here. I mean, it's just,
It's
it's
okay.
insane.
That's exactly how I feel. I'm like, I love being busy.
Yeah.
If people want to ask questions, please follow me on my Instagram. if you want to work together, check me out on my website. I'm looking forward to seeing who we have on the podcast, who wants to be a part of it, along with getting the real stories about players, caddies, companies, manufacturers, courses, instructors, anything and every, and along with travel. I mean, there's only so much golf you can play, and then you want to go explore. So, I mean, what a great place to go, like Vegas. Like, you have the strip, but if you don't want to do the strip, you can go to all of the amazing golf courses that you guys have, i.e. Revere.
Yeah. And you got Mount
like,
Charleston, and we got the lake and everything out there. So
yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff to do. I mean, if you're not into golf, I know most people are into traveling. So, I mean, and the other thing is learning those stories about certain courses along with hotels. Like, a lot of people don't realize that Grand Geneva Resort and Spa used to be the first Playboy club outside of Chicago, and they have a pond there that actually still looks like a Playboy bunny.
wow,
It still
that's
looks like,
cool.
and it still looks almost. I mean, they've remodeled it, but it's still
Yeah,
the same kind of building that
cool.
was in, I think, 1970s, 60s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just getting those really cool stories is my mission of the podcast, and getting people to know the real stories, not just why did you hit that shot that was bad?
Yeah.
What were you thinking
What were you
about?
thinking? Yeah.
Like why did you hit your golf club with your golf bag? You know, why were you so mad? Like, nobody cares.
Yeah. All right, kiddo. And I just want to, if you have not seen it, I don't know, you may have seen it. Robin Williams did a thing a few years ago on golf, and how
The
the
little
game
hole,
how the
little hole.
how the game came about and how the game got started. And I would urge everyone to go to YouTube and type in Robin Williams on golf, and you will not be disappointed. It's
No,
it's one of the greatest things I've seen about golf. It was just amazing. So anyway,
that is hands down one of my favorite skits of Robin
it
Williams.
it
Like,
it, it was brilliant. It was just
uh,
absolutely brilliant.
I'm letting you know, talking about things that you didn't know. When you watched Caddyshack, um, I'm drawing a blank on the actor's name.
The
Bill
actor, or
Murray.
yeah, Bill
Bill
Murray, right?
Murray. Bill Murray's all of his dialogue is ad-libbed.
Yeah,
It was not scripted. It was all ad-libbed. What he said when he was talking about Augusta hitting the flowers, that is all ad-lib.
yeah.
It's
I, I
not it's not in the script.
I have an autographed picture on my wall here in the studio from Cindy Morgan, who played Lacey Underall there.
Oh,
And the pictures from when she was in Tron, but yeah, she had some interesting things to say about that whole.
oh, I can only imagine. I've heard some of them from her, and
Yeah.
let,
All
let
right.
me tell you, it's interesting.
Yes, it's fun.
Right.
And having said that, I think we're going to wrap it up now. And I just want to remind you, if you're going to do it with styles. Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Bye, John. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.